What's up, everybody? In this Robot Damashii review, we're taking a look at the Robot Damashii number 252 MS-18E Kampfer version anime. This is from the Gundam War in the Pocket miniseries. It is one badass suit, and if you didn't get this figure, you're really missing out. I'm already telling you that right now. Taking a look at the front of the box, we see the Kampfer probably flying off to meet the Alex Gundam in one final battle. We then look at the opposite side. We see the Kampfer with its mine whip, posing, looking nice as well. We see what it looks like with all its weapons attached. We see some posing possibilities. Not posing, but articulation possibilities. And then looking at this side of the box, we see all the accessories and what you can do with the figure, or sorry, all the features of the figure. And then on the opposite side, we see the figure standing nice and tall. Okay, so let's go ahead and open the box, take a look at the figure, and see if all this commotion for it is worth it. Here it is, the Kampfer. Looks pretty damn cool out of the package. It's not too heavy. It's kind of like a light figure, but that's all right. Looks pretty damn cool still, no matter what. I already see a few painted over pieces. I'm not really a fan of that type of stuff, but I understand these parts right here, these little thruster areas, are painted over, meaning so this is all blue plastic right here, and then the yellow was painted on there. That's okay. You know, if the parts are too small to replace with actual plastic, I don't mind. Looking at the paint, it doesn't look too bad, but you can see some paint kind of bleeding over the edge of where it should be. Yeah, I can live with that. It's fine. Here's the back. We got a lot of thrusters here. Looks pretty damn cool. Let's look at the feet. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Not a bad looking figure so far. Man. Okay, let's hurry and get through accessories real quick. Starting with effect parts, we have 6 of these blue thrusters, a gun muzzle effect part, a bazooka effect part, light explosion effect part, and 2 beam saber blades. For extra accessories for the mobile suit itself, we have 4 extra pairs of hands, not including the pair of hands that are already on the figure. We have 2 open hands and 2 gun holding hands. We also get an extra antenna and 2 beam saber hilts. You also get 2 of these bazooka attachments, 1 attachment for the extra shotgun, and 2 attachments for the Faust grenade launchers. For weapons, we start off with 2 of these huge bazookas, 2 stem Faust grenade launchers, 2 shotguns, and 1 very long mine whip. This is what I would call a great smorgasbord of accessories. Starting off with the visual, or with the effect parts, really cool to have more than 2 effect parts with one figure. Now usually whenever we got effect parts, they were either some thrusters and maybe 1 of the gun effect parts, maybe an explosion. Sometimes we would get 2. I think with the Zaku 1, I think we got thrusters, the barrel effect part, and the mini explosion. I can't remember if we also got a 4th. I don't know. It just seems like we have a lot going on here, and that's pretty cool. That makes sense then for a higher price tag on this figure. Not only that, we have all these nice juicy weapons. Let's look at the bazooka. Closer look. We'll see some little, not stickers. They feel, yeah, actually they do feel like stickers. I don't know. Let me see. I don't know. It could be paint. Feels like a sticker. It's a little bit raised. Maybe it is a raised decal. Anyways, it does have some writing on it. Unfortunately, it doesn't really say anything. It's pretty much just lineage to make it look like there's something written on there. These shotguns don't have anything on them. They're pretty plain looking. That's to be expected. I kind of wish they were painted a little bit more, but that's okay. Here's the one with the extended stock, or not stock, but the extended... What's this back piece called? Man, I am bad with guns today. Anyways, looking at the grenade launchers, they also have some raised decals as well, and the writing is pretty much just there for effect, or there for visual pleasantry, I guess you could say. Looking at the whip, Nothing special there. I am kind of cautious with this wire. I don't want to bend it too much. Who knows, it might break apart. You get a number of hands. That's to also be expected with the figure. Did I mention also that the figure had a nice little Xeon decal on there? That's cool. But yeah, we get a lot going with this figure already. Let's go ahead and look at its articulation. Pretty basic for articulation, nothing too crazy, but you do get a lot of it. Starting with the head, you can pull the head upward a little bit. The neck does extend. And speaking of the head, you can take the top dome piece off and move around the mono eye. It's kind of small, and this piece is annoying to put back on, but if you want to also go ahead and turn the head full 360, you can do that. Whoop, there we go. I'm going to put the head back down. Moving on to the shoulders, you can rotate the arms. You can rotate the bicep. In fact, it kind of looks like everything can rotate on this figure. You do have a double bend in the elbow. You got some movement in the shoulder armor as well. It can move up about that much. You can raise the arm about that much. So, yeah, it's not hindered by the armor. Your hand can rotate. It's on a ball joint. And then moving to the torso, you can bend forward. You can't really bend too far. Oh, actually you can. You can bend back quite a bit. And then on the back, the thrusters, the big ones anyways, they do move. Does this one move? Ooh, it does. It was just stuck. Okay, so that's cool. You do have thrusters that move. Speaking of moving thrusters, the ones on the butt cheeks do move as well. They can move all sorts of ways. You got a lot of moving thrusters here. Going on to the legs, you can have a full kick right there. Your toes can bend a little bit, and then you got a nice double bend in the knees. No real hip rotation at all. Yeah, you can just kind of turn it a little bit, and then you get some nice ankle pivot. You get some nice bending upward as well with the toesies. So yeah, pretty basic, nothing too crazy. Let's go ahead and show some of the features of this figure. So one of the things you can do right off the bat, something we couldn't do actually with the MSIA version, is place the beam saber hilts onto the leg of the Kampfer to make it look like it's, well, popping out one of its beam saber hilts. These little round discs that are on the hips can be taken out. You can see the hole right there. And then you can replace that little peg with a beam saber hilt. Okay, twisting the hilt on, and there you go. Nothing too exciting, but still a step up from the MSIA version. And yeah, so that's a cool little feature to have. And when you're done, you just put the little cap back on his leg. Good as new. The hilt going inside the Kampfer's hand isn't that tight. It's kind of loose. And here's the first bit of sad news with this figure. Unfortunately, the bazooka effect part is too heavy, so putting it or attaching it to the bazooka and having the Kampfer hold it upright is not a possibility at all. However, the Kampfer can hold the bazooka pretty comfortably, it looks like. The handle does extend forward. Yeah, that's about it, but that sucks. So if you have an extra Tamashii stand, you're gonna have to hold it up, you know, using it. Oh man, that's sad. No surprises with the shotgun or the muzzle effect part. Looks pretty basic, works well, looks great, I guess. I forgot to mention that the shoulders do pop forward, so you can get this pose down. At the torso, you can also fully rotate the top portion of the figure full 360. But yeah, I don't know why I didn't bring that up before. But yeah, just looks fine. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary here. Here's the Kampfer holding the two grenade launchers. Nothing visually inspiring here. And another bit of sad news, unless you have more Tamashii stage, you're not going to be able to pull off any grand poses with the chain mine. It's just, it doesn't work. It's too heavy, it's too long, but you can curve it around, make it look like, you know, he just finished holding it. Honestly, it's better on paper than it is in real life. It's just not too cool looking. On top of that, the Kampfer doesn't hold it too well in its hands. I use both the beam saber holding hands and the tighter weapon holding hand, and they're still too loose. They flop around too much. So yeah, unless you have those stage parts to hold this chain up, if you got the Alex Gundam with its armor, then yeah, maybe it would work. But by itself, no, it's not going to look too good. Size comparison time, and here is the Kampfer decked out with almost all its weapons. I'll get to that during the final thoughts. Next to the Zaku one with nothing on it, and John Wick, who is equally as decked out. So you can tell it's almost coming up on about 6 inches almost. Especially with the bazookas on there, yeah, it's going to be a lot taller. Unfortunately, in terms of like how sturdy everything is with the weapons on there, I don't know, they're kind of on there securely, but I have my doubts for the grenade launchers, and the bazookas kind of pop off a little too easily. And then there's the issue with the shotgun in the back here. But I'll get to that during final thoughts. Yep, nice size. Decent looking when it has all the weapons on there. Okay, now let's get to those final thoughts. Oh, Kampfer, we started so high. How did we get so low? That's alright. This figure's still pretty damn cool. I have to admit, I still love it. Coming from the GM cold type, I'm really setting the bar low for Damashiis now. And thankfully this one kind of raised it up back to normal. There's not too many seam lines and not too many nub marks that I can really speak on. They're there because, well, that's just what you're going to get with any figure. You're always going to have seam lines and you're always going to have nub marks. But they could always be done better. Meaning they can always be hidden a little bit, and this is what the figure does. You can see the nub marks under like thrusters and just, you know, sanded down a little better, and sometimes they just won't even be there. So that's an A+ in my book. But some of the negativity for this figure that I'm getting are just the amount of accessories that just aren't doing what you want them to do. Namely, the large effect part for the bazooka. Now, unfortunately, we had this kind of problem, I think, with any of the other bazooka-carrying Damashiis. The RX-78, the Dom. I think no matter what, you're going to have to use that stage, that extra stage to hold the weapon up. That's okay, you know, it is what it is. Sadly though, something as small as the extra shotgun, excuse me, should be held in place securely, easily. If the MSIA figure did it, this one should be able to do it also, right? Well, wrong. You know, for some reason, this shotgun can easily be popped off. It doesn't want to stay on the attachment. And I'm putting it on there correctly. I looked at the instructions, which I was going to also note, you really don't even have to look at the instructions. If you had the MSIA version, you pretty much know what to do. But yeah, that is a big negative in my book. I don't get it. But still, this figure is pretty damn cool. I would recommend getting it. Get it with the Alex. Yeah, it's a win. So hopefully you enjoyed the review. Stay tuned for more. Catch you guys later. Bye.